Hello everybody and welcome to another episode from the Spirit server. And today I want to finish this area behind me. This hole in the clock tower is here since I built it, and I told you I will finish it, and I'm going to cover it up before the server shuts. So my plan for this whole region here is to make it a square, like a market square, where people... What are you doing here? Let's not get distracted. Where people go and gather and shop and everything. And I also want to maybe build a town hall right here in front of it, because this is a large tower, you know, and I think it would make sense if it was part of a building which was, important, like a town hall. But just to, save my vocal cords, and so I'm actually able to speak as soon as possible without it being a pain and me needing to cough a lot, let's just play the time lapse of me building the area, and I'm gonna see you then. So enjoy this large giant time lapse of time lapses. Let's go. And it's done. Everything from this house over here to this house. These houses are here, and these two market stalls, the path, and of course this house, which is the town hall, being perfectly centered with the clock tower, which you cannot really see, but trust me, it is perfectly centered. Maybe it will look that way in the time lapse. Since I still didn't do the time lapse, I don't know how it looks. But now it's time to do my favorite thing: detailing. And let's start with this one. This server at the start had a permit system similar to Hermitcraft, and I got the S tier permit. However, I never really managed to actually build the shop, and it would be useless because not a lot of people played on the server, which is the reason why I have a lot of books in my storage, so at least I had a way to use them for this purpose. Now we will add some shopkeeper to keep the shop I guess. And I decided to use a red scientist skin as the librarian because I just thought it fit color-wise. I also had a strangely hard time shaping the left arm of the armor stand in the way I wanted, which was weird, but luckily for the other armor stands it would get better. Next I did the other shopkeeper, and this one was meant to sell fruits and vegetables, basically a farmer on the market. And for this one I used the head of my favorite YouTuber when growing up, Ment97, and of course the armor stand of the shopkeeper was real basic, but I decided that I want to do another level of armor stands and put the actual vegetables and fruits into the baskets in front of the stall, which I did using composters. So I started with making carrots, and during this carrot putting in session I've had a horrible realization. This will take too much of my time if I'm just gonna use carrots. So I did fill it up so the carrots looked enough by putting 5 carrots exactly. As you can see, I got into a sort of rhythm with the carrot placement as I went on and on, automatically turning off gravity, turning off the base plate, and turning on the arms on the armor stand. However, the way I decided to basically make this thing easier was to put a corresponding colored wool underneath the vegetable so that it looks like it's full of things, but it actually isn't, but it still has the color, so it looks like it does. Then I did the apple basket, which went way faster and way smoother, mainly because I've already had the movement kind of in hand. I kinda got used to it, and I could pretty easily just not copy and paste, but kinda get into it, and it was just way easier for me to make it look how I want compared to the carrots. I, to be honest, don't know why that was a thing, but somehow it was. Of course, instead of I used only 4 apples, however, and of course I did use the red wool instead of orange wool for the bottom background to make it fit nicely in there. And the last one in the middle was pumpkins. I basically chose these specifically because I had a carrot farm, I had an automatic pumpkin farm, and I had a villager that sold apples, which that's how I decided what fruits and vegetables I wanted to actually have here for sale. Also, during the pumpkin making, I realized that I don't need to actually put a wall underneath the pumpkins. The 4 pumpkins actually, since they are blocks and not items, took enough space to cover most of the composter. And the last thing for this market is the main statue right here, which will be the statue of none other than me. However, this skin is pretty complicated, I know, so I'll do my best to do some cool statue right here. I'm gonna gather some stuff, and then I'm gonna show you the time lapse of how I'm building it. So yeah, enjoy the time lapse. it's done. We got the market square completely finished. I just noticed one not finished thing, and I don't know in which. Yeah, indeed. Here. Now it is finished finally. Okay, all of this square is now finished. We have these signs which I added off camera to promote the shops. We have the main statue, the winner of the live series, you know, yours truly, as the statue built in the honor of the winner, with the tail, tried to, you know, convert this outfit into a statue. It's not a simple task, but I hope I did all I could. We have our librarian, and of course we got our fruits and vegetables, sold by my childhood hero. The restaurant uses the back door to come here and buy from the farmers. We also got the nice trees. We covered the big hole. I'm really happy with this place. But that will be all for today's episode. Depending on if I'm going to be sick or how much time I will have, since university takes a lot of time, this might be the last episode of this season. Well, last episode of this season of Spirit. Yes, I will probably keep building on this space and finish it, but all of that will be done as videos to kind of take break from the next season of Spirit, but definitely be excited for that one because I have a lot of plans for that one. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe, and if you really like it, leave a nice comment. I did spend a lot of time making these armor stands. These things were way harder than I thought they would be. Why did I do this to myself? But I will see you next time with another video. Bye!